All right, you got to keep me focused. Let's go ahead and talk about inequalities 1.5. All right, so these are the inequality symbols. We have greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and whenever you have that, you're going to use a solid circle. And then we have greater than and less than. And whenever you have those two, you're going to have an open circle. All right, so make sure you know that, and I'm pretty sure this is review, so you do know it. Let's go ahead and do an example. Solve the inequality and graph. All right, so let's go ahead and start solving like Algebra 1. First thing we would do is distribute that negative 3 in. We have negative 6x plus 15 plus 1 is greater than or equal to 4. Go ahead and combine like terms, these guys. Subtract the 16 from both sides. And then the very last thing you would do is divide by negative 6. All right, so here's the important thing is when you divide by a negative number, it's actually when you divide or multiply by a negative number, you have to remember to do something. What was it? That is right, flip the inequality around. So when you divide by a negative 6, the answer is x is less than or equal to 2. All right, so please remember that. Put a star next to your notes. Divide or multiply by a negative number, remember to flip the inequality. And so our answer is x is less than or equal to 2. Now, if you notice, it also says graph. So that's actually pretty fun. We're actually going to graph on a straight number line. Here's how I want you to graph. I want you to go ahead and find 0. So just put 0 and then find 2. You don't have to do all these tick marks. You can just put a tick mark here and say that's 2. Okay? Then you're going to put a closed circle. And then less than or equal to means you go this way. And that's how you graph it. Pretty simple. Just a closed circle and then arrow going that way. Okay? Let's go ahead and do a slightly tougher one. This is only tough because there's a fraction in it. The easy way to do it is to get rid of the fraction by multiplying everything by 5. 5 to this side and 5 to the other side. When we do that, these 5 cancels out and you're left with 3 times the quantity of x minus 12, and then to distribute that 5 into this, you should get 5x minus 120. There you go. Now let's simplify. Distribute this 3 in. You get 3x minus 36 is greater than 5x minus 12. Bring the 3x to the other side, bring the 120 to the other side. You have 84 is greater than 2x. Divide both sides by 2. All right. Notice I kept the x on this side and the number on that side, and the inequality symbol the same. That's because it's very important. If you want to switch it around, you have to switch the entire inequality around. So you get x is less than 42. To graph it, same thing. I want you to find 0. And obviously I'm not going to ask you to click 42 units down, so just go ahead and put 42 anywhere you like, but on the correct side of 0. This one's going to be an open circle because it's not equal to, and then less than goes this way. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and do these sometimes, always, never problems. They're a little bit weird because if you try to solve them right now, distribute the 2, bring the x's to one side, bring the numbers to the other side, guess what happens? The x's actually just disappear. They just go away. And you're left with a negative 2 is greater than 7. All right, now we have to look at that answer. Is -2 greater than 7? That is never true. So this is a never. And then you cannot graph it, so you're just going to put no solution. Let's try this one. If you try to distribute this, combine some like terms, solve it out, guess what happens? The x's disappear again. It just goes away. And you're left with -15 is less than or equal to 8. Then you just have to ask yourself, well, is -15 less than or equal to 8? And that is always true. All right, so when you have always true, then you're going to go ahead and highlight the entire line, and then the answer is all real numbers. All right. Let's go ahead and do some translations. I give you a sentence, you have to put it in an inequality. All right, these can get a little bit tricky because sometimes less than means that symbol, sometimes it means minus, so you have to pay attention. 5 fewer than a number is at least 12. All right, here's the answer, and so I'll explain it right now. 5 fewer is -5. And then you can use any variable you want. This just says a number. So when it's just a number, you can just use x, you can use n, whatever you want. So 5 fewer than a number is at least. At least means greater than. And that's what we have here. And then 12. That's all we have. Try another one. The quotient, remember that means divide, of a number, so any number in 3, is no more than 15. No more is less than or equal to. All right, so here's our quotient. No more than means less than or equal to 15. All right, not too bad, just translating them. A word problem, these are the fun ones. Let's read it together. The length of a rectangular swimming pool is 5 feet greater than its width. The perimeter of the pool is greater than 62 feet. Describe the width of the pool. Again, since the 6th grade, you were asked to draw pictures for word problems, so we'll draw a picture. There's my swimming pool, it's rectangular. The length is 5 feet greater than the width. So if we call this width W, then the length has to be 5 feet greater, so that's W plus 5. You also have to remember that perimeter means the distance all the way around. So we're going to go ahead and add all the way around. W plus 5, and then there's another W plus 5 down here, and then add a W, and then there's another W over here. So when you add them together, it is greater than 62. So greater than 62. Combine like terms, subtract the 10, divide by 4, you get the width is greater than 13. The width must be greater than 13 feet. All right. Last slide for the day, and versus or. Okay, so if you look at these two problems, they're nearly identical. 7 plus k is greater than or equal to 6. I got it again here, 7 plus k is greater than or equal to 6. I got 8 plus k is less than 3, 8 plus k is less than 3. The only difference is the and the or. All right. Let's go ahead and solve the first one. Very simple. K is greater than or equal to 1. And then the second one, K is less than -5. Let's go ahead and graph that. Remember, always find 0. Here's -1. And then it's a closed circle because it has the equal sign. Greater than means this way. The -5 is somewhere around here. It is an open circle. And it says less than, so we're going to go this way. So normally that would be the answer. But the problem is asking for and. Whenever they're asking for and, they want to know where the two arrows overlap. So that's key. And means where they overlap. I'm writing it with my mouse, so it's not the best. So where they overlap, and if you look at that picture, they never overlap. So when they don't overlap, there's no solution. Okay? Now let's do the same problem, but with or. When it's an or problem, there's our answer, there's our answer. Our graph looks the same. Here's 0. Here's -1. Closed circle. Going to the right. Here's -5. Open circle. Going to the left. When it's an or question, it doesn't matter if it's overlapping or not. When it's an or, then the answer is whatever the graph looks like. So in this case, this is the answer. All right, that is all we have for today. Go ahead and get started on your homework.